Hey, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. And if you guys might remember, 7 years ago, some skinny white guy named Nightwing2303 might have done a review on this exact shoe in this exact colorway.
Hello everybody, this is Nightwing2303 from kicksoncourt.com.
And they're back. For those of you guys that don't know, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows what these are by now because they really hoard out the colorways on these things like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, maybe it was 3. I can't remember. But this, my friends, is the Nike Air More Uptempo. These are f***ing awesome, man. This is like the 90s spelled out, except for it says Air, which was essentially the 90s. Now this is the Scottie Pippen Olympic colorway. It's almost summertime, even though you can't tell right now because everybody's stuck inside going nuts.
And the Olympics just got postponed.
For an entire year. We're in wild times right now, guys. We're gonna try to keep it normal. We're doing our best here. These things right here were worn by Scottie Pippen. It has his little USA number right there, his jersey number. Something that I don't like is this one right here. Like it's like off-centered. I almost thought that the whole upper was crooked, but everything else is in line except for the 8. And so if you match it up with that guy right there, this 8 is perfect. Hopefully you guys can see this, but yeah, Nike messed up on that one. But anyway, Scottie Pippen wore these in the Olympic Games. Got buckets per usual. Scottie's a beast, man. Scottie is one of my favorite. I wouldn't call him a non-popular superstar, but like he kind of had like that smoothness to him where he was like an underrated but massively successful player. It was kind of weird. Maybe you had to be in Chicago or something like that to like appreciate his greatness. From my perspective growing up, maybe it's because he was teammates with MJ, but he just felt like a for sure second fiddle, like the tails to MJ Sonic. Scottie was a beast. That one dunk over Ewing, he walked right over him, kind of like wiped his balls right on his face. Yeah, Patrick remembers. But anyways, these guys are back 7 years later. Why? Who cares? I'm just glad that they're back. Do these look like the Reebok question? I need to know.
No.
Thank God.
They're ugly in their own right.
No, no, they're not. Like I said, this is like the quintessential, like if a sneaker could represent an era of time.
Yeah.
No other shoe was great on court, or I wouldn't say great, but just popular on court, because everybody in the league that was signed to Nike was wearing these things. If they weren't wearing these, they were wearing this like little brother, the Air Much Uptempo with the little bubble. And then they even reused this tooling for what was known as the Nike Air Money, worn by Eddie Jones. And then they retroed the Air Money, but with this tooling. I was like, that's not the Air Money, guys. It's not even close. Anyways, they even made a movie appearance. Remember that? Brendan Fraser? George of the Jungle, that's what he was. Yeah, man, and he wore these. I mean, these are iconic on so many levels. These are so awesome. This is my favorite version right here. These ones and the reverse one. This is the one that I normally wear. I got rid of these a long time ago, like this colorway. And so I'm glad that they're back because now I got them again, so it's all good. But yeah, they didn't do anything really different. They're still made exactly the same. They feel the same. What these guys actually offer in terms of tech specs is an outsole that looks beastly, but isn't. Weird, right? Herringbone is not always awesome. Sometimes it could just be lackluster, and that's what this kind of herringbone was. It's kind of recessed into this flat pattern and all that stuff. I love new age traction because it's aggressive, like an Air Jordan 1. Air Jordan 1 in 1985, that was some aggressive ass. And then they eventually ended up putting traction into the rubber instead of making the rubber the actual traction. That's what I really like about new age shoes. Like it started really with the CP3-6. Like they just carved herringbone into the rubber. It was so dope. And then these guys right here, most people, like if you were around back in like 1995, 1996 when these originally came out, you guys already know that that was not like that in the original. This used to be a little window into the air sole, literally. But yeah, they used to be little windows and stuff, which were really dope. And then they would say Air inside sometimes, kind of depending on what the shoe was. Like if it's an Air Penny, sometimes it would say Air, sometimes it had his logo in there. Other times it would have the Uptempo logo. The Uptempo logo is amazing. Now sitting on top of the rubber is full length Air. It's actually not full length, even though it looks like it's full length.
It's broken up into sections.
Yeah, so this is like a section, then it goes into the next chamber.
Well, they did a good job of making it look.
Exactly, they did a great job of it. They didn't get full length until these. And even then, I'm not positive if that one in the very front is its own. Now sitting on top of that, I believe is a Phylon midsole. It's a dense Phylon and stuff, so it's not gonna be super comfortable or anything like that. They are heavy, they are kind of brick-like, but these newer ones, in my opinion, are more comfortable than the pairs that released previously, like 7 years ago. Just barely. Now the upper on these guys is something that I'm used to by now, just because that's the way that the shoe's always been made, but it is a little bit like, why don't you make a premium version of it? But the entire upper is all synthetic everything, so if you are one of our vegan sneakerheads, then you're gonna be cool with that. If not, then stay away from these. However, However, if you're an OG enthusiast and like you're an OG purist and you just want things to be exactly the way that they used to be, this is kind of that. You know what I mean? They're not better than the original or anything like that. If anything, the one thing to complain about is that air bubble size. This is way smaller than the original ones. The original ones were fat. They're stacked. They stuck out of the phylon a little bit, man. They were dope. But anyways, there's a synthetic nubuck on there. That's what all the navy stuff is. And then the leather overlays are not leather. They're actually synthetic leather. Feels kind of like vinyl and all that stuff. Not quite as
plasticky?
Yeah, not quite as plasticky. Thank you. So they did a good job of mimicking the feel of leather. It's just not leather. And for anybody curious, because the way that like I like to check for leather is to look at the cuts, look at the grain and all of that stuff, especially when you got something like this where they literally stitched on patches of things. Like you can actually like lift it up and see underneath there that that is a fuzzy material that is not leather. So if you go side by side with the Air Jordan 1 Court Purples, you can see where there is a synthetic material. It looks like it's almost bleached white. And if you were in person with that shoe, you'd be able to actually see that there's no material, no raw material within that. It's just a composite and stuff. It's just a synthetic. Versus the Air Jordan 1, where you can see that there is some discoloration because they have to heavily bleach and tumble and all of that stuff, like the material when it comes into the factories, the tanneries for the leather, when they're separating. We've talked about this before. It's such a weird and kind of gross process.
Super gross.
They take this hide, right, and then they throw it into a chemical bath that it soaks up all of this material and chemical into the leather hide and makes the hide thick, and then they start sheeting it. It's super interesting though, and that is really, in a real small nutshell, kind of how to tell that this is synthetic, those were real, even though they have this coating. That's the main thing. It's the coating fools everyone. Polyurethane coat that they put on top of whatever material it is, because cows aren't red, cows aren't court purple.
What?
I know, weird, right? But all of that kind of stuff just kind of like, it's very interesting to me, and if you were curious, that's what it is. They should put those stickers though. There's no sticker in here where it says, they were on your like 2090s. It says like this product contains synthetic materials. I feel like they should do that more, especially today where there are a group, even though they might be small, there's a group of consumers that are, I wouldn't say curious, but they genuinely want to know or need to know this stuff.
There should just be like a picture that goes on the box that you can easily identify.
Something where it's a non-animal product.
Yeah.
And I think that that would be the best thing
A
for
symbol.
consumers. Yeah, I agree. They should have like some kind of logo or something, like the recycle symbol.
Yeah, and there will be shoes when you're like walking through famous footwear, and it'll be like waterproof, and it's just a little symbol on the box.
I completely agree. I think that would be the easiest way to limit confusion. And it would be great for those people, because if you're shopping at an outlet or in the store, they bring out the box, you automatically see that and you'd be like, oh, sorry, do you have anything that doesn't have that logo on it? Or does, if that's the marking of non-animal waste being used on the product. So that's just our thoughts. That was a good thought though.
Thanks.
Yeah, if we start seeing logos like that.
It's all me.
I know, that's where it originated from.
Cut the check.
Right? Cut the check. I love that guy, man. You know who says that?
No.
What?
Who says it?
Anthony Mackie.
I don't know who that is.
What? You don't know who Anthony Mackie is?
Who is he?
Well, it depends on who you ask. To me, he's the Falcon.
Oh, from 8 Mile.
Yeah, cut the check.
So what does he say cut the check in?
As soon as he's done with the scene, he just says cut the check.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, some of my favorite features on these guys are some of the dumbest features, actually, but I just always have been infatuated with them, especially because this started off as a performance shoe, not a lifestyle shoe, which it is now. But what they actually have are these bungees right here, a la the Air Jordan 10, just a lot bigger. The thing is, though, why would you ever
Cover your logo?
cover the logo? Yeah, especially because the logo is one of the few things that's got a little pop of color right there, man, especially on the USA colorway, because without that,
It's just US.
oh,
Without that
I don't know about
A.
that. Yeah, without the red, there's no A. The second thing, and probably my most favorite thing, other than maybe the air bubble, are these little plastic clips right there, man. I don't know why I always thought those were cool. They were on
For
like
your
the
speed lacing?
It was the opposite. What it was is this was supposed to make it for a faster lace. So like if you were to retie your shoes real quick, you would pull that tight, right? And then you would quickly hook. But then as soon as you let go, they would fall out. They're just so weird, man. Cut me some slack. I was a kid, but I just always thought that it was dope. I also really like the little jeweled swoosh on the back. I just think that's cool. That's another area where I feel like if that was red, I know it wasn't like that on the original, and same with that little baby swoosh right there, but if they were red right there, it would just really set these things off. But overall, I think this is a great shoe. As far as sizing is concerned, I go down half a size. I feel like these things like fit really big for some reason. You just like swim in them. But now, the moment that you've all been waiting for.
I was glad that you said roughly what year these came out, because these are the shoes where my parents got divorced in like 95, 96.
You gotta do that.
It's okay, guys. I'm well adjusted.
Yeah, she's over it. It's all good, man.
But I had to like move towns and new schools. I was a 6th grader, and I remember coming into the class and all the boys there.
It was this one.
It was these shoes with, they all wore football jerseys or basketball jerseys. That was the look. And I was like, what are these shoes? Why does everybody have them?
This was the shoe in that time frame. It was so polarizing. Just in your face advertising and stuff like that was a thing. We had never seen something this like boom, you know what I mean, until this shoe. As a non-sneaker person, it's cool to see that because she's never really been into sneakers, you know what I mean? Like you never like followed them like that. You have your memories of the ones that you used to have. This is one where she has a memory. She didn't even have the shoe.
No.
It just is one of those shoes that sticks out in your brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's dope.
I definitely walked into that classroom and was like, why do all these boys look exactly the same?
Well, it's just one of those shoes that it's so like,
Yeah.
holy where like 10, 20 years later, people are like, dude, I remember those.
Yeah.
We have friends that aren't into sneakers.
Right.
And they see these and they were like, dude, I remember everybody in school had. I'm telling you, man, this is one of those shoes. This shoe is dope. But anyways, let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. They are available right now over at Phenom. So if you were interested, you can check them out. I think they launched on Nike like out of nowhere, the Nike app. And then I missed out on them. So I was like, dang it. On top of that, I didn't even believe that it was a real launch. Like I thought maybe they found some pairs. From like 7 years ago or whatever. So I was like, no, that's not even a real thing. And all of a sudden, like Phenom got them in and I was like, what? And so I went and grabbed a pair. So Phenom is closed right now due to the whole,
Yeah, you can't walk in, but you can call and you can order online.
yeah, you can phone order and they'll ship it to you, or you can just order it online. We'll leave all of their stuff down below in the comments and all that stuff, or not in the comments. Damn, I do that all the time. I've been on YouTube for so long, I still don't get it.
In the description box.
That's what I was trying to say. But let us know if you're grabbing a pair. If you are, awesome. If not, cool. It's all good. Buy what you like.
And
But
thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us.
I was gonna just say that. I was just about to say that.
Cut the check.
Oh, get out of here.